we will talk about objects and the classes as object-oriented language, OOP programming, as Java. So it's good to understand the syntax, the structure of all these classes and objects. Okay, so the objective of this lecture will be to describe, to declare, to create these objects and classes. Okay, to create objects using constructors, how you can create from classes, to access objects via reference variables, to distinguish between instance and the static variables and methods, and to use how to get access to these private fields using the getter and the setter methods. Okay, so this is almost introduction to classes, and in every exam, in every class, you need this notion. Okay, this is how to create the whole class. What are the components of this class? Okay, so let's start by some concepts about object-oriented programming. As you know, the object-oriented programming involves programming using objects. Okay, we will use objects. So what is an object? The object represents an entity in the real world that can be distinctly identified. Okay, an entity or an object. It can be a student, an animal. It can be an employee, a passenger. Okay, a flight. Okay, all of these are objects. Now, for example, a student, a desk, a circle, button, and even a loan can all be viewed as objects. كلهم هذم أشياء. Okay, objects. Now, an object has a unique identity, state, and behaviors. For student, عنده student ID, student name, student courses, registered courses, student faculty, okay, the faculty in which this student is enrolled, etc. Okay, academic advisor, etc. So this is some unique identity. Okay, state, some state, it is level 1, level 2, enrolled, drop, I don't know, active, not active, etc. Okay, and behavior, something that the student can do, add courses, delete courses, postpone exam. Okay, all of these are behaviors. Okay, something that the student can do. Okay, or can add. So the state of an object consists of a set of data fields. When I talk about the state or the identity, so this is some properties, some data fields. Okay, some attributes, خصائص. Okay, and it will define it is known as properties, as attributes, as data fields. All of these, okay, are the same with their current values. Okay, in general, we will create a class called student. Okay, in this student, I don't need to create the current value of the student. It is Reem, it is Farah, whatever. Okay, no, just I will make student name, student last name, student branch, student faculty, student ID, etc. Okay, now when I create object from this class, Farah, Reem, Mariam, all of these are objects from class student. So they will have their current values. Okay, ما عاد في name، لا اسمه فرح، النيم فرح خلاص filled. Okay, يعني I will fill all these attributes. And now the behavior of this object, we said that it is defined by a set of methods. Add course, delete course, postpone exam, I don't know, postpone a term, etc. All of these are behaviors. Okay, so this is what you need to understand till now. You have a class. In this class, you have the name of your class name. Okay, and after that, in this class, you have two sides. The first side for data fields. Okay, خصائص. Okay, attributes, properties. Okay, and the second side, it is behavior. Behaviors, it means that actions that you can do. Okay, this class can do. Okay. Now this is the object. We said that we have, for example, this is a class for the circle, دائرة. Okay. This circle, each circle has a radius, شعاع نصف القطر. Okay. How you can define a circle? كيف ممكن نعرف السيركل؟ لازم نعطي المركز ونعطي كم نصف الشعاع، نصف القطر أو الشعاع. Okay. Radius. So this is the data fields. This is that I need to know about this circle. Okay. Now, as methods for this circle, I can get the area for this circle. I can get the perimeter for this circle. I can get what else? The color of this circle, etc. Okay. Get and set. Okay. So this is some methods, behavior. Okay, of this class. After that, so this is my class, المصنع. Okay. الكلاس دائما نفهمه زي المصنع كاليوزين. Okay. اليوزين راح يطلع لي مثلا اسلاك، راح يطلع لي سيركلز، راح يطلع لي ستودنتس. اوكي. انا اعطيه البروتوتايب تبعت المنتج اللي البرودكت اللي نبغى نحصل عليه، وهو راح يسوي لي بنفس الطريقه، بس انه ايش الاوبجكت راح يصير قول لنا with current values. With current values. For example, here radius is equal to 10. It is not undefined, okay, or default value 0, okay, or default value 1, okay. No, it will be customized. Okay. Here the the second object with radius 25. Here the third object with radius 125. Okay. So the data fields now, the values of these data fields will change. Okay. But for the other methods, it will be applied the same. Okay, with the same way. So an object has both state and behavior. This is the state. Okay. This is the state. Okay. And behavior, the methods. Okay. So the state defines the object current values of its attributes. Okay. القيم الفعلية للخصائص هذه. اوكي. لما اقول اسم لا يصير ما في اسم، يصير اعطيه الاسم. اوكي. فرح. اوكي. مريم. اوكي. This is the object. But for the class it is name. Okay. General. Now, and the behavior will define what the object can do. Okay. Now let's focus on the classes. So the classes, it is clear now the classes and the objects. الكلاس قلنا زي المصنع. Okay. And the object will be the products of this using. Okay. With the same. راح يسوي لك المصنع كلهم بنفس الطريقة، بس انه ايش؟ كل مين عنده اسم، كل مين عنده خصائص معين فقط. Okay. So the classes are constructs that define objects of the same type in the same. Okay. المظهر الخارجي كلهم زي بعض، كلهم students، كلهم human، كلهم عندهم اسم، عندهم ID، عندهم courses، عندهم advisor. اوكي. ما في احد عنده شيء ناقص منهم ابدا. اوكي. all of them with the same type. And the class now is used to group related objects together. زي ما قلنا هو زي المصنع، قلنا المجموعة. اوكي. كلهم عوض ما انا عندي 1000 students في الكورس مثلا M251، عوض ما كل كورس انشأ له object manually, just I need to add a class called students, and after that I will create 1000 students بخطوة واحدة. Okay. Now Java, okay, so a class is considered as a factory, okay, as using, okay, to create objects. المصنع. Okay. So Java class uses these variables now اللي قلنا الاتريبيوتس، الكارنت فاليوز، راح نسميها الحين variables لانها راح تختلف من object لobject. اوكي. القيم هذه الفعليه راح تختلف من object لobject. and to define the data fields and methods to define the behaviors. الميثودز it will be the same. Okay. Nothing will be changed. Just you need to apply this method on this user or on this object. Okay. So additionally, a class provides a special type of methods known constructors. This is a special type of methods. Constructors are already a method, okay? But it is special, okay? Special من behaviors which are invoked to construct objects from the class. فدام قلنا it is a using, it is a factory. So I need to produce, I need to construct. How can I construct? I need to use the constructors. Okay? هذا اللي راح يصنع لي objects. Okay? So when I need a student, I need to call the constructor. When I need to create a circle, I need to call the constructor for circle, etc. Okay? Now, this is an example of a class now. This is the class circle, for example. We said that we will start by the data fields in your class, or the attributes, data field, properties, كلهم نفس الشيء, okay? Data fields, properties, attributes, okay? And after that, the method. قلنا بعدها الميثودز. In the methods, you have two types of methods. This is the constructors that are specific methods. أول شيء يجي بعد الداتا, it is the constructors. How you can construct, how you can create these objects of this type, okay? And after that, it will be the different methods, the different behavior, the actions that this object can do, okay? So here, for example, this is a constructor with no arguments. شفتوا هنا ما في شيء, zero argument constructor. So it will construct something that it is by default, okay? Or it is not customized, okay? Just 1,000, for example, circle. All of this circle has the radius 1. Okay, this is for the creation. I need to create. I have also another constructor here. It is constructed with one argument. This is the one argument. يعني أعطيته more details. ما قلت له لا انشأ لي 10 مثلا circles، لا انشأ لي 10 circles with a specific radius. It is not the radius is equal to 1. Okay? هنا radius is equal to 1. This is the default value. القيمة الافتراضية إنه لما ينشأ لك circle إذا ما غيرت. أوكي؟ إذا تبغى تنشأ circle بنصف قطر معين, so you need to use this constructor. Okay? Here the constructor, it will get the radius, okay? And the radius will be the new value for your radius. It is not 1. Okay? This is the difference between these two constructors. واضح? Are you with us, guys? If you have any question, you can ask, please. Okay?
Clear.
Clear till now? And after these constructors, we say that we have a method. It is called here the get area, okay? And you know what is the area of a circle in mathematics? It is the radius square of the radius multiplied by pi. Okay, this is pi. Or this one. Okay, so this is a rule. Okay, it is not for us. This is the rule in mathematics. The area of the circle is equal to the radius, square of radius multiplied by the pi. Okay. So this is an example of the class. If I ask you to draw the UML class diagram, so you need to use these notations. Okay. A class, this is the shape of your class. You have in the first the class name, after that the data fields, after that constructors and methods. Okay. This is the UML class diagram, UML notations. Okay. Okay. So now if you create objects, this is the objects. So just instead of radius double, no, it will be radius is equal to 1. Radius is equal to 25. Object customized now, okay? And this is the shape, okay? So you need here, for example, for the data fields, you need to list or to mention all these data fields with their data type. If it is double, string, integer, list, array, list, etc. Okay. After that, you will list all the methods. You will start by constructors. This is constructor with no arguments. constructor with one argument. After that, this is a method to get area, and this is the return. Return of this get area is the double. Okay, so this, it means that this method will return a double value. This method get perimeter will return also a double. Set radius. Set radius. It means that you need to change your radius. This is the mutator. It is called the mutator. Okay, so we will see that the mutator, the accessor, in this inshallah lecture. Okay. Now defining classes and creating objects. This is a demonstration to create objects, access data, and using methods. So this is a test circle. Okay, so always you will create classes. Okay, and after that you will go to the main. Okay, for testing. Okay, you will create this using this factory of different objects, and after that you will go to the testing to the main for testing. Okay, in the main you will create objects from these classes. You will use this method. You will use this okay, all these behaviors to be sure about your work. Okay, عشان تتأكدوا إنه شغلك تمام ولا لا. بعد ما ننشئ الكلاسز اوكي راح نروح الى المين. عندكم اوريدي في النت بينز اول ما تفتحوا بروجكت نيو بروجكت المين راح تجي على طول من دون ما تسووا لها انتم كرييشن. اوكي just you will create Java classes for your class, and after that go to the main and execute all these testing instructions. Okay, so we will move we will see that later inshallah in the lab section. Let's continue with constructors now. So constructors are a special kind of methods that are invoked to initialize objects. Okay, هي اللي راح تسوي لنا ال creation وال initialization of these objects. Okay. So this is an example of zero argument constructor. This is an example of one argument constructor. Okay, ممكن يكون one argument, two arguments. Okay, two. إذا كانت الكلاس تحتاج أكثر من معلومة. Okay, here you have only the radius. Okay, if there is a student, so student you can give the ID, you can give the name, you can give the level, whatever. Okay, all these attributes that you have. Okay. Now, a constructor with no parameters is referred as no argument or zero argument constructor. Clear? Zero argument or no argument. It is the constructor with no parameters. يعني ايش؟ تكتب بس اسم الكلاس والقوسين فاضيين. اوكي؟ بس وتفتح معطوف وتقفل معطوف. This is a constructor. Okay? Now, constructors must have the same name as the class itself. نفس اسم الكلاس زي ما كتبتيها الكلاس فوق تبقى تحت. إذا ال first letter capital, it is the same. Okay? And constructors do not have a return type. ما في return. Okay? Not even a void. لا void لا return ولا شيء. Just the name of your class, parentheses, and you can open the brackets and close the brackets. That's it. Okay. Constructors are invoked using the new operators. Now, when you need to use this constructor should be used or invoked using the new operator, new circle, new student, new animal, new passenger. Okay. This is to create objects. Look here. You need to create a circle. This is the data type of your class. Data type. زي الانتجر, زي string, زي whatever. Okay. After that عندنا a name of your object or of your instance. After that, new, and this is the constructor. اوكي دائما الكونستراكتور تيجي قبله نيو مو كونستراكتور لحاله اوكي new operator okay if you use the constructor with no arguments the constructor with one argument okay the constructor with one argument all of them need to be processed by this new operator okay so the constructor plays the role of initializing these objects okay it has the role of creation and initialization okay you can give from the first okay creation from the first time the initial value okay the default constructor now a class may be defined without constructors if you miss to add your constructor for your class there is a default constructor that will be added by the compiler okay now what is the characteristic of this constructor in this case a no argument constructor with an empty body is implicitly defined in the class. حتى لو انت نسيتي ما سويت constructor طبعا في الامبلمنتيشن في الكتابة لا. In your exams you need to write because there is some marks there, okay? So for your implementation with NetBeans, if you miss to add the constructor, so the compiler already will add this default constructor with no arguments. Okay, اللي هو قلنا ايش؟ circle مثلا just the empty body ما في شيء فاضي okay just it will create with the initial values with the default values okay so this constructor called the default constructor and is provided automatically only if no constructors are explicitly defined in the class إذا ما كتبتيه فعليا في نفس الكلاس this will be added okay now declaring objects reference variable so to refer an object assign the object to a reference variable so to declare a reference variable using the syntax the class name and after that the object reference variable for example circle my circle 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 1 circle 2 circle 3 circle 4 whatever okay so this is the name here you can use any name but here you need to use the same name as your class okay إذا C capital capital أخطأتي كتبتيها بسمول small أخطأتي هنا كتبتي I don't know E اكتبها زي ما هي okay if you change it will be an error declaring and creating objects now in single step you can declare and you can create اللي هو class name object name new operator and the constructor okay so this is how to create and to declare an object in one step at once okay so example my circle the data type my circle it is the object name the name it can be my circle it can be circle 1 it can be circle 2 it can be circle with any name that you can use okay this is your choice here no okay equal this is the assignment you assign a reference okay this is a reference assign object reference okay so we said that we have two types of variables we have primitives variables and we have reference variables this is the reference this is the type of reference okay زيها زي string زيها زي array okay this is a reference variable so you need to create to allocate memory for this variable and in this variable you will not store the value you will store the address the memory address it will refer okay it will refer to this object okay so this object will use the constructor with no arguments with one argument two arguments all of them are correct okay so this is if you need to create and to declare at once now accessing the class members there are two ways to access the class members إما using a qualified name or using a simple name. Here, using a qualified name with an object reference and a dot notation. So, for example, if you have arguments, how you can get access to this argument, the object reference variable, my circle, okay, dot the method name, dot get area, okay, the method name with the arguments, okay. ايش هنا I need to make access to this method, okay. So example, my circle dot get area dot get perimeter dot get whatever, okay, the method that you have in your class. Now I can use also a simple name without a reference and without a dot notation. It is get area. It is radius is equal to 1, radius is equal to 3, whatever, okay. Now when to use them? This simple name, this one, the class member could be accessed using the simple name within their class. If I am in the class circle and I need the radius, I need the get area, I need whatever, all of this in the class, I can use without notation. Just يتيح زي ما هو, okay? If I am, or if we say a member is inherited كمان, inheritance بعدين الوراثة راح نشوفها لما تكون class ابن من class ثانية, okay? Parents and children, okay? So this is an, okay, also you can use this simple name, okay? خلينا الحين هنا في الكلاس, okay? Till now we are in the class. When we are in the class circle, when we are in the class student, so I can use the attributes, I can use the methods without dot notation, okay? Now, if we are outside the class, in testing, in other class that needs some attributes from this class, okay? So I need to use this qualified name. طيب واضح؟ إذا أنا جوة الكلاس نفسها اللي عرفت فيها الراديوس وعرفت فيها الجيت اريا والجيت perimeters all of them, I can use it. I can print, for example, the get area. I can print the get perimeter. I can print the radius, just an ID radius. I will call radius, okay? But if I am in the testing, المين اللي قلنا outside another class for testing, so I am outside the circle, I need to use this notation, okay? This is the notation اللي حكينا عليها, okay? Dot radius. Here, because I am outside the circle, I am in the main, in the testing here. If you are in the testing, if I am here, public class circle, so I can use radius, get perimeter, get area, etc. Okay? But if I am outside this circle, in testing or in other class, so I need to use this dot, okay? The qualified name, okay? يعني ايش؟ اكتب الاوبجكت، اضغط النقطة على طول هو يعطيك الاشياء اللي جوه الكلاس، يعرف انك انت راح تستخدم ميثود ولا اتريبيوت في الكلاس، اوكي؟ So this is tracing. Look at this trace code. So be careful about this tracing. Always you have in your exam tracing. It is المفروض a gift for you. A tracing, it is a gift. But unfortunately 80% من الطلبة يضيعوا الماركس في التريسينج. Just tracing يعني امشي مع الكود خطوة خطوة فقط. This is what you need to do. Okay? So when so imagine that you have this code, this portion of code. We need to trace, we need to analyze this code. We need to understand this code in order to understand how it will work. Okay? So when I read circle, my circle, what is this? What is this? أول شيء this is a name of the class plus the name. That class إيش نقول لها هذه الخطوة؟ declaration. Declaration. This is declaration. Declare my circle. Okay? I declare that I will use a circle and the name of this object is my circle. Just. Okay? Now, when I use this equal, this is assignment. Okay? راح يأشر على شيء. Okay? New circle 5.0 راح ايش؟ طيب هنا عندنا two things. عندنا بعدها الايكوال هذا شيء وهذه شيء ثاني. اوكي؟ يعني في السطر هذا ايش قلنا احنا عليه السطر هذا؟ قلنا فيه له declaration والcreation at once. Okay? So this is declaration already. الcreation I need to create a circle. This is creation. Circle. شفنا UML of an object. This is a circle of data type circle. And what is the radius is equal to 5. Okay? Now this equal, إيش يعني this equal? It means I need to refer to this object. Okay? هذه الإيكوال. واضح؟ So this is in one step we have create circle, declare circle, and make reference to this circle. Sorry. Now the second line, circle, your circle, new circle. أعطوني أنتوا بس إيش راح يصير الحين. نفس الشيء تقريبا. Declaration البنفسجي هذا declaration. So this is declaration. Just I will create your circle. Okay, with no value, with no object أصلا. يعني لو سويت بس هذه الخطوة كتبت هنا circle your circle وهذا ما في، وبعدين جيت هنا استخدمت your circle راح يجيك error لأنه ما في object. في بس declaration. أنت علمت الكومبايلر إنه عندك object من هذا اسمه. بس هل سويت له creation؟ No, not yet. Okay, this is the creation and the reference. Okay. After that, so once new circle, إيش قلنا؟ the new circle يعني default constructor يعني إيش؟ default values. Okay. اللي هي radius is equal to 1 والcircle زي ما هو. Okay. So this is an object and after that you will have this assignment. Okay, clear? Assign an object reference to your circle. Clear? Okay. So we use in the first line we use the constructor with one argument. أعطيناه الراديوس ما أبغاها الديفولت فاليو ما أبغاها القيمة الافتراضية أبغى قيمة ثانية أعطيناها 5. Okay. second line we use the default constructor ولا no argument constructor ولا constructor with no arguments كلهم نفس الشيء اللي هو راح يسوي لنا الديفولت فاليو. Okay. اللي هي إيش؟ radius is equal to 1. Now we will move to the third line. Your circle dot radius is equal to 100. يعني إيش؟ راح أمشي على your circle. Okay, this is your circle. Okay, I will refer to this radius dot radius يعني I will refer to this radius and I will change the value by 100. Okay, هذا كيف أنا ممكن أغير الراديوس. Okay. So recall that you use the math name. If you remember the M105, we use the math class. Okay, we use the power, the SQRT, square root, كمان الباي هذه حقت البريمتر كمان حقت الاريا كمان. السين والكوس والتانجنت all of this already defined يعني بس انت تسوي لهم call. Okay, so here you have this call to invoke a method in the math class. Now can you invoke get area using this simple class dot get area؟ هل أنا طيب فاهمين القصة؟ احنا قلنا في الماث كلاس كنا في أي مكان I can call الباي I can call الباور السكوير روت etc. Okay, but now can I call this get area, this get perimeter, this get whatever, okay, outside the class من دون. Here it is no. Why? Because all the methods used in the TM105 module were static, if you remember. static حتى لما أخذته في الكلاس آخر chapters أخذتوها كانت دائما static public static void كلهم بنفس الهيدر. اوكي ليش static which are defined using the static keywords. okay however here the get area is not static. static here it can be used outside. it can be الفاليو تبعها ما راح يتغير. اوكي اذا كانت باي اذا كانت constant. كمان طريقه الاستخدام اذا كانت زي الباور هنا والسكوير روت ما راح تتغير. اوكي يعني ما في شيء يغيرها. بينما هنا الجيت area it is not static. okay if we define it as a static you can call it but it is not static. okay so this is the why you need. so the data fields can be okay so this is why you cannot use the get area ولا get perimeters ولا any methods الا ما تسوي لها الدوتيشن وتكون انت في السيركل. اوكي في نفس الكلاس. اوكي now the data fields. let's talk now about the data fields in general. so the data fields can be of primitive types: double, boolean, char, integer, short, byte, long, okay, float, all of this primitive to any other variables or reference types: string, array, array list, etc. okay class, any circle, whatever. okay you can use. so for example the following student class contains a data field name of a string type. okay so this is a class student. in this student you have these different data fields or attributes اللي هما name, a name string, an age, the number, is science major or not, so it is a boolean, yes or true or false. okay gender, it is character F or for example or N. okay so this is now what are the default value for this. يعني زي ما شفتوا هنا there is no initialization. يعني ما قلنا والله الاسم يساوي محمد للجميع. اوكي default value لا خليناها فاضيه. يعني ايش الاسم؟ الديفولت value it is the default value it is null. okay it is the empty string. okay now what is the default value for the integer? 0. for all numeric value it is 0. okay the boolean false and the character it is this lateral. okay lateral this one. okay now the data value for data field. so the default value for the data type null for any reference type array string whatever. okay 0 for numeric type, false for the boolean, and this lateral symbol for the character type. okay however Java assigns no default value to a local variable inside a method. okay inside the method إذا احتجت ال I, ال G, whatever you need to define this time. okay but in a class just you don't need to initialize. okay it will be initialized by the compiler by the default value. اما تستخدم ال I جود ليش؟ لانهم هذول data field for class. لما نستخدم variable جود مثلا I don't know if you have for example for the student the number of courses. okay so you will go to the courses one by one and add counter. so this counter should be equal to 0 from the first. صح ولا لا؟ عشان نسوي له incrementation لازم يصير counter end counter is equal to 0. إذا خليت end counter وبعدين استخدمت counter plus plus error because counter it is not initialized and cannot be initialized like this data field. okay so this is what is said here in this note. the null value now if a data field of a reference type does not reference any object so the data field holds a special literal value it is null. okay إذا ما سويت له assignment وقلت له هذه new circle to this circle my circle 1 to this circle new circle so it will refer to null يعني ما في شيء. okay Now, creating objects, for example, from student class. So we said that in the first, you will create your classes, and after that, you will test your class. You will create objects from this class in the testing. So here, imagine that you have already a student class with creation, and you need to create objects. So this is student. This is the name of your class. This student is the name of your student. Okay, and the new student. So this is the default value. صح ولا لا؟ ايش الفاليوز اللي هنا؟ طيب لما اجي اكتب system.out.println the name. So what will be the name? What will be the output? Null. Okay. What will be the age? 0. What will be the major? False. What will be the gender? This. Yeah. U and 0, 0, 0. Okay. This يعني so this is what is called here. Okay. This is what will be the output will be the default values. زي ما قلنا the default values. Okay. Now differences between variables of a primitive data type and object. So this is the primitive. Just هذا كله ترى تعرفوه المفروض. Just we need to refresh يعني informations. So we say that the primitive in the primitive variable you will store this value in this variable. Why? For the reference variables you will refer. So هنا راح تكون reference اللي هي ايش؟ address memory of this object. Okay. So this is the difference between the primitive and the reference variables. Now copying variables of primitive data type and objects, reference types. So if you have, for example, primitive type assignment, قلنا I is equal to G. Okay, I integer will G integer. After that, I is equal to G. So in the first, for example, I is equal to 1 and G is equal to 2. After executing this, I is equal to 2 والG تجلس زي ما هي is equal to 2. Okay, so this is what happened. Now for the reference, there will not update. There will discard some reference. Will be the garbage. Okay, this unreferenced like here it is unreferenced, and this is referenced objects. Okay, so here when we have this is the circle 1, this is circle 2. In the first you create circle 1 of radius 5, circle 2 of radius 9, and after that when you apply circle 1 is equal to circle 2, it means you will to change the reference just. Okay, instead of referring to this circle, you will refer to this one. So this one will be مهمشة ما عندها reference. Okay, okay. So this is the difference between the reference and primitive types. So as shown in the previous figure, after the assignment statement, C1 is equal to C2. So C1 points to the same object referenced by C2, and the object previously referenced by C1 is no longer referenced. ما في أحد الحين مسوي عليها reference. Okay, so this object is known as garbage, and garbage is automatically collected by this Java virtual machine, and it will be after that deleted. Okay, this is some objects, some reserved memory that will not be used. Okay, and cannot be used. إذا ما عليها reference فما تقدر توصل لها. Okay, راح تكون كذا مهمشة. Okay, so if you know that an object, this is a tip, if you know that an object is no longer needed, إذا عندي مثلا السيركل 1 هذه ما راح استخدمها مرة ثانية, so you can explicitly assign null to a reference variable for the object, and now the GBM will automatically collect the space if the object is not referenced by any variable. Okay, so because it will be, we said it will be after that deleted. This space will be empty. Okay, now why? Okay, so this is all about construction, components or syntax of a class. Okay, now another important thing for the data fields in your class, is to be private. احنا شفنا البابليك، دايما نشوف البابليك. Okay. Now your data field in your class should be private, not public. Okay. Now why it is private? Because you need to protect your data. Not everyone can access your data and change or use your data. Okay. To make code easy to maintain. Okay. You know who has the right to change, who has the permission to change. Okay. And to achieve encapsulation principle, it means that declare attributes as private and methods as public. Okay. Al methods, it's okay, public. Al attributes, it is private. Okay. And information hiding, which are object-oriented programming features. Okay. Now, because your data fields is private, so you cannot change إذا شيء private outside. ترى عندي مشكلة، كتبت اسم الطالب بالغلط، أبغى أغير اسم الطالب، كيف أغيره؟ طالما اسم الطالب هو private ما أقدر أغيره، صح ولا لا؟ وأنا في التيستينج كيف أشوف المشكلة؟ أشوفها بالتيستينج. أوكي. أنا الحين في المين ميثود سويت تيستينج لكم طالب، انشأت كم طالب، وبعدين فطنت إنه there is some errors in the name of the student that I enter. Okay. Now how can I change this name? I cannot change. It is private. Private يعني يتغير بس جوة الكلاس. Outside the class, I cannot change. Okay. So why? How can I do that? This is using the getter and the setter methods. كل كلاس بعد ما تسوي الداتا فيلز الكونستراكتورز راح تكون في الجيتر والسيتر قبل الميثودز الثانيين. الجيتر والسيتر how you can get your data, how you can set your data. Okay. Get, it means that you need to take access. Okay. If I need to print the name of my student, I don't have the right, so I need to use the getter. Okay. If I need to change the name of my student, so I need to use the set name, get name and set name. So this is the different. Okay. So usually we need to declare a setter and the getter methods for each instance variable, for each variable. إذا سويت 5 variables ولا 5 attributes للstudent, I need 5 setters and 5 getters. Okay. مو تسوي الوحدة واحدة، لا كلهم زي بعض، يعني كله بعدين راح تحتاج الجندر، راح تحتاج في أي شيء ما راح تقدر توصل له إلا عن طريق الجيتر والسيتر. Because why? Because قلنا it is private. Okay. So a getter method and also called accessor getter. يعني I can get access, I can print. Okay. I can show. Okay. It used to access private attributes from outside the class. From outside the class where they were declared. Okay. And the getter method should not change the state of the object. Okay. All private attributes should have getter methods. All private. Okay. كل ما عندك private attribute, you need to set and to get this private. Okay. Attribute. So for example, inside the class circle, how many attributes في الكلاس سيركل شفنا؟ الاتريبيوتس في الكلاس سيركل شو قلنا؟ ايش الداتا فيلدز في الكلاس سيركل اللي شفناها قبل شويه؟ الراديوس والسقط فقط، هذه اللي شفناها، صح ولا لا؟ So I need to implement الجيتر والسيتر for this radius. Get, it's just return. Okay. Public. كل الميثودز قلنا public. Okay. بعدها راح يجي data type of your variable. إذا radius double, it is double. إذا النيم it is string. إذا الage it is integer. على حسب الداتا type اللي سويت لها declaration in the first. Okay. Get radius, empty parentheses, and return radius. Okay. Now, so you can in the main method just you will invoke get radius using the object name. بعدين اسوي circle 1 dot get radius على طول يسوي لي print للradius. Okay. Now a setter method also called the mutator mutator يعني change. Okay, update. Okay, it is one of that. It is the one that you can change the state of an object by setting the value of an instance variable, and these setters do not normally return a value. ما في return. It is a void. Okay, أنت راح تعطيها الفاليو، هي just تسوي لك تحديث للفاليو ولا change الفاليو. Okay, so it is public again method void and set reduce, set name, set age, set gender, set ID, set is measured, whatever. Okay, the name of your variable. So as an argument you need to give, مادام راح تسوي لها change, so you need to get the value and you need to update reduce is equal to up. This is okay في كل التمارين، في كل الاختبارات، في كل الكلاسز اللي راح تنشئوها راح تبداوا data fields, constructors, getter and setter, and after that the other methods. already يعني إذا كتبتوا هذولي في كل كلاس عندك 5-6 نقاط خلاص بيجي جيت. أوكي، ما في شيء صعب بالنسبة لهذه النقاط. It's very easy and it will be repeated every activity. Okay. Now let's talk about the data fields and methods. So the data fields can be classified into instance variables and static variables. Okay, just the methods can be classified into instance methods and static methods. So what is the difference between instance variables belong to a specific instance? Okay, like here, for example, you have circle. My circle is equal to new circle. Okay, this is a method. قلنا في الأخير this is an instance variable, my circle. Okay, so you can apply all these methods to your instance. This is not a method, this is variable, it is reduce. Okay, so here you have reduce, but here it is method. Okay, so this is called an instance methods here. Okay, you can invoke these methods in your class for your object. Now let's talk about the static variables, constants, and methods. Static. So what is the static variables in the class? Variables are shared by all the instances of the class. Are shared by all the instances. يعني all the instances that you will create, it will have this number. Okay, like for example, you can create a static variable, the number of objects. كل ما انشأت object ابغى اشوف المصنع هذا اللي جالس يصنع اخر شيء لما خلصت الاكتيفيتي كم صنعت من object. Okay, so this information should be shared by all. Okay, and should be the same for the all. Okay, لانه انا اول شيء راح يكون 1. once انا انشأ another object, so it will be 2, so it will be updated to كل الobjects راح تصير. Okay, 3 في كل الobjects راح etc. So this is static. It is shared by all the instances. So class variables are used to keep count, for example, of the number of objects of a class type that have been created, and at each object would have to update the count every time a new object came into existence. Okay, so this is the example that I talked about. Okay, the number of objects, it can be a static. For the static methods are not tied to a specific object, so also this static method can be used, can be shared, okay, by all these instances. And the static constants also are final variables like الفاي والاشياء هذه shared shared by all the instances of the class. Now you can access the class variables and methods using the class name. Okay, so this is a static variable example. For example, in this variable demo, you will have a counter that it is static. Okay, after that, you will have a method that is called increment, and it will increment this counter. Okay, now you will have another static void main. Why static? void دائما المين تكون static لأنها shared by all. Okay, all classes that will be executed, you can execute them in the main. Okay, because it is shared. So I will create, for example, an object 1, an object 2 from the class variable demo. Okay, using the constructor with no arguments variable demo. Okay, after that I will invoke the method increment. I will invoke the method for the second object. And now I need to output. So if I write object1.count, it will be 2. طيب خلينا من هنا. نرجع هنا عندي 2 objects. Okay, object 1, object 2. I apply object1.increment. So it means that I will go here. In this increment, I will increment the counter. So the counter here is equal to 1. صح ولا لا؟ A counter here after this execution is equal to 1. Now I will apply this increment to the object 2. So what is the value now of the counter here? It is 1 because it is static. Static, it means that it will be shared by all. إذا أحد غير هيتغير على الجميع. Okay? إذا أحد سوى anything for this variable, it will be, this information will be shared. Okay? So this is why it is static, what is meant by static. So here, instead, الانكريمنت صارت ما راح تصير لها بلس من الزيرو، راح تصير لها بلس من ال1. Okay, so this is why it is 2. Now, when I print the counter for object 1, it is 2. Okay, it is shared, it is incremented for all objects. It is 2 also here. And for all, it is now 2. حتى لو سويت لها من نفس الكلاس. Okay, so this information will be shared, will be updated. تمام؟ This is why when you can use this static. Static إذا عندك معلومة تبغى تشاركها مع جميع الانstances الobjects, you need to declare this variable as a static. Static constants also, to declare static variables, constants, and methods, use this static modifier. Okay, so the pi also, if you remember, for inside the math is also declared as constant, and this is the value for this pi. Okay, just now, if you, so you can access it using math.py. Okay, best. Okay, it is public, so because we wish to be available for other classes. It is static because it has one value for all objects for the class. So static في لها 2 things. إذا كانت final يعني constants, so it will be the same. كل ما استخدمها أحد سوي لها أحد ما راح تتغير، راح تجلس نفس الفاريبل. So we can call it static. إذا كانت variables change, so these changes will be shared and it is static. Okay. Final because it is a constant, a double because it is the most accurate decimal representation we can use. Okay, so this is why here public, static, final, double. Okay, now static methods, also known as class methods and their uses. When you can use these static methods now, static methods carry out general function not associated with objects. لما يكون عندك function methods, you can use it for student, for I don't know, teacher, for employees, whatever. Okay, it can be, for example, the number of enrolled persons in university, for example. Okay, so we can share this information with all of us. Okay, and it can be accessed directly in a static method. So, for example, the static method max within the class math, it is a static method. So max هو نفسه max for age, max for grade, max for number of passenger, whatever. Okay, it will be calculated with the same way. Just you need to customize. So the method header for one version of max look like static double, this is the return max, and you will have 2 numbers to give, and it will give you these numbers can be grades, can be age, can be number of words, whatever, okay? These numbers can be. Now, to access this max, just you need to use the max. This is the class dot max, and you will give this max two number. If I need to compare, for example, 5 with 4, which is the max, so I need to use max dot 5. شفتوها دائما الستاتيك variable ولا method دائما اخلي قبلها ايش؟ اسم الكلاس هنا الماث، اوكي الكلاس. And the main method also is a static method، لأنه قلنا التستنج راح يكون عندك كم كلاس، إذا تبغى تسوي تستنج ممكن تسوي لهم كلهم تستنج من نفس المين، okay? Because the main is static, it's shared, okay? This is the static. Okay, now for the static notations, when you have static variables, so you need to make a line, okay? It will be underlined. في النوتيشن هنا a number of objects, it is a static variable. I'll get number of objects, it is a static method, okay? This is a static method, this is static variable, okay? في النوتيشن هذه طبعا. I need to instantiate, create objects. So this is class 1. شفتوها هنا class 1 لما أنشأنا كانت 1 number of objects. In the first it is 1. Once I create another object, it will be updated. So it will be 2. طيب once I create another one now, here circle 2, circle 3, circle. So radius, for example, is equal to 10. With number of objects, how much? Is equal to 3. All of them will be 3. Okay? This is the static variable. Okay? واضح؟ الستاتيك دائما تصير لها تحديث في الجميع لأنها معلومة متشابكة بينهم كلهم. Okay? Now the scope of variables, the scope of instance and the static variables is the entire class. مدى استخدام هذا الvariable, and they can be declared anywhere inside a class. Now the scope of a local variable, it will start from its declaration and continues to the end of the block that contains this variable. Okay? A local variables دائما هنا I is equal to 0 n. أول ما أقفل نفس البراكت خلاص ما في يوز لهذه اللوكال فاريبل. لوكال فاريبل يعني متغير محلي فقط في البلوك المحدد فقط. اوكي. and the local variable must be initialized explicitly. هذه قلناها قبل شوي. اوكي. قلنا local variable need to be initialized. It is not like the data fields in your class. It cannot be, it can be يعني assign the default value by the compiler. Here for the local variables, no, it is not the case. You need to initialize, okay? So this is an example. Java assigns default values for attributes, but no default values for local methods inside, for local variables inside the method. Again, كلها هذه ترى refreshment, كلها repetition. جاتينا نعيد في نفس الفكرة, okay? So look here. If you have defined int x, okay, this is a local variable inside the main, inside the main تبعك, inside this block, okay. This is a local variable. هنا ما أعطيناها value, okay, just declaration. String s also declaration, ما أعطيناها value, okay. Now when I write system.out.println x or system.out.println s, it will give you compilation error. Okay, because it is not initialized. ما في value. أنت بس قلت له إنه عندي variable اسمها x والداتا تايب تبعها int فقط. كمحتوى ما في. كobject ما في. Okay, just it is declaration. Okay, but when you write here is equal to 0, for example, وهذه is equal to Ahmed, so it will show you, okay, in a good way. Just here راح تصير 0 وهنا راح تصير أحمد for example. Okay, so it will not be assign the default value. ما نقول له هنا لا والله الإكس عنده الزيرو default value والnull for string. No, it is not true for the local variables. This is a local variable. Now the package is a package, what is called a package. So the package is used to associate a number of classes, okay, that are closely related to one other. In the package, flights, for example, airports. In the package airports, so you will have a class flight, you will have a class passenger, you will have a class planes, for example, etc. Okay, so you will have many classes that are grouped together and that are related, okay, in some way. Okay, so if classes form a cohesive group, okay, they should be marked as belonging to the same package. For example, Java has a collection of classes named math. Java math. كل الاشياء المتعلقه بالماث زي هذه الباي والاي والباور كل الاشياء هذه كلها مجموعه في كلاس واحد. Okay, if we want to make use of this class of this package, so we can add a statement to advise the Java system of this, and this is using import statement. اذا راح تستخدم اي باكج من برا، اوكي، outside الباكج اللي انت شغال فيها، فيجب تستخدم import. يعني ايش؟ تعلم الجافا انه هذه اللي انت راح تستخدمها تراها موجوده في اللايبرري الفلاني. اوكي، and this is like here import Java math, import Java scanner for example, import Java fx after inshallah at the end of this course. There is a lot of imports. Okay, just there is a predefined. ليش احنا سوينا import? Because this is the advantage of Java. In the Java, there are predefined classes. الاكسسورز اللي شفنا public والprivate وفي also protected. Okay, so these are known as access modifiers. There is actually fourth level اللي هو default. إذا أنت ما كتبت لا private لا protected لا public, so it will be default, and it will erases when none of these accessors is specified. So again, what is the public? So the class for the public, it is the most general. Okay, كل مين يقدر يوصل للكلاس outside في نفس الكلاس, outside the class, in the package or outside the package. Okay, for the private عكسها تماما. Okay, ما في أحد يقدر يوصل إلا نفس الكلاس اللي فيه لها البرايفت. كله بعدين no access. Okay, الprotected and the default access will be discussed later. Okay, so it is between, يعني between الpublic والprivate. Okay, note now an object cannot access its private members as shown in B, and it is okay however if the object is declared in its own class. Okay, زي ما قلنا لما كنا نجهود الكلاس C, in the class C I define a Boolean, for example, variable private, okay, and assign private. Okay, so I can access a C in this. شو كلها أقدر أجيب السي، أقدر أستخدم السي. Okay, why? Because we are inside الكلاس. جيت طلعت من السي، حبيت أستخدم التست سيتنج. okay, حبيت أستخدم السي هذه. هل ممكن أنا أستخدم السي دوت إكس؟ It is correct. It is private. I cannot have access. وهذا ليش قلنا إنه لازم نضيف الجيتر والسيتر. Okay? Without getter and setter here, you cannot access this. So you need here to add methods to get x and set x. Okay? here كذا بالطريقة هذه c.exe.convert this it is wrong because both of them الconvert والx both of them are private, so you cannot access outside الclass. Okay, just يعني this is that you need to understand. Example of data field encapsulation. So here, this is again the class circle. In this class, you have as data field the radius and the number of objects. Why it is underlined here? Why there is this line? It is a static. It is a static variable. Now this is the constructor with no arguments. Constructor with one argument. Get radius, which is the getter. Set radius, which is the setter. Okay. Get number of these objects. Okay. And get area. This is another method. Okay. You can enjoy. You have here already the implementation. You can run this implementation. Okay. So that's all. Thank you very much for your attendance.